All right, gentlemen. So I cleaned out another 20 rounds. I got 2 pounds on this one and 1 pound on this one. I'm cleaning up another 20 over there on my tumbler, and I've been organizing and stuff. I had another powder that don't have a jug for it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that powder to load the 270 or 308. Is the 4064. So, and I have let me see, and I think I have like 98. The box is almost full. I think I have like 98 in here, so I gotta pull a couple more, round it up. But I'm not selling these. I like these Curry bullets. Very slick. They're flat base. They're not bow tail, but lead tip, so target, you know. So I'm gonna keep that. I'm selling the, let's see here. I got 3 boxes of this stuff. The Spear, 160 grains, and also they're in great shape. They're new, you know. So these are long bullets. These fly very, very well. So I got too many. I mean, I got a box of 162. I might keep that. I got a box of 154 red tip. I like the red tip. So let me see what this one is. Interlock. Okay, this is 162 bow tail lead tip. Got 100 of those. So I'm gonna sell 3 and keep the other 3, and then this little box here. I gotta first I gotta consult with the book. Some bullets fly better than others on a particular rifle, and being that this is going to be a semi-auto, let me see. So the 7M08 has 150, 160, 168, 175. That's the maximum. So it can handle quite a lot of bullets. Spear. And this is my old book. Also the Spear. The 7M08 didn't exist back then. It's not in this book. Okay, so here's a 7M08. 175, they're both flat base. Then 160, they have a flat base and a bow tail. They have 145. And then 130, they don't have the 140 in this book. So I have to load with the Nosler book. Okay, these are all copper, 160. They're all copper base, hollow point. I'm going to be keeping this 160. And they're flat base. Yep. So I'm going to start getting rid of all the lead tip. But this one here, the 154, even though I don't have a load for it, I can look it up, you know. But this is a very nice looking bullet. I mean, they're still in the bag. Look at that. That is a beautiful pill. Beautiful pill. Bow tail, marked with a crimp, red tip. That's a hunting bullet right there. So there are 3 boxes of 160. That's going to go. I already got plenty of the other ones here. The 140, the 145. This is 140. And these are lead tip with the crimp, flat base. So I got here about, I don't know, 40. And I almost have 100 on the, let me turn this down. I almost got 100 on the Curry. And I don't remember where I got this box, but I like this bullet. Something tells me it's a very, very, very slick. All right, so yeah, I'm still doing the, you know, and I found another extra box. I thought I finished it. I found another extra box. So I was gonna take the brass to the shop today, and I decided that these bullets that I loaded, who knows when, they're too nice to go shoot at Target, and I'm gonna keep these. So I've been taking them out, and this is the bullet. Beautiful pill, and it so happens that the powder is the 7828. So I'll be saving that powder. The 4350 is completely full. I had to put a little bit of the powder in a plastic bag and keep it in the drawer nice and dry. So there's my gizmo. And to check the powder weight, because I gotta check in my book, let's see what is it that I loaded it. It's 63 on the money. So 63, that's probably on the Nosler book. I'll be doing this for a while. Put the powder back in there. And I'll add another 20 shells to the batch. So I'll have like 2.5 pounds or something. The other ones that I dismantle and stuff, I have 40, half a box of 160. I want to try the, yeah man, it's nice. I want to try each weight bullet, see how it feels in the gun. Feel the kick and everything. Everything has all these have different loads. One's got 46, another one has 63, and another one has what was it? 43 grain powder. And the 63 load, I think, is the max, and on this particular bullet, so it's gonna be a hot shot. And you can't load a semi-auto too weak because it will not function. It will not retract. It needs to have a certain amount of gases to push back the bolt. And that bolt is spring-loaded. So it needs to have enough power to push it back. You don't want to load it too weak and then say, oh, you know, it won't kick that much. Yeah, but then when you're going to shoot, it won't perform. All right, I'll let you go. See you later. 140 grain, and here it is. It's 4064 powder. So I got there about, I don't know, close to, I don't know, quarter pound. This is 10 bullets, 20 bullets worth. That's the thing about the Magnum, that it carries a lot of powder. So I'm going to be reducing everything. I'm going to be reducing weight. I'm going to be reducing recoil. I'm going to be reducing the cost on the powder. I got plenty of the bullets. I got all the primer. So, and to reduce all that, I have to spend $1,400. It doesn't make sense, huh? It doesn't make sense. It's like the people that buy electric cars. Oh, I'm not going to spend money on gas. Yeah, but you're spending $80,000 on a vehicle. They don't look at that part. So I'm doing another batch, flat base, 160, and it's the same type of bullet from the other three. And I'm up in the air if I'm going to keep that batch. The other 3 I haven't loaded. These are removed from the original, from the loaded ones. So I got a lot of bullets still to remove. And I got to go through my locker and make sure that I don't have any more boxes, because this one just came out of nowhere. I looked back there and, oh, there's another box. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing. This is the cigar that I was smoking yesterday. It was very hard. And I put it back in the humidor, and I added more water, and I put a wet stick, cedar stick in there. And now it got so humid that it's so soft that it's almost wet. So it's gone out like 3 times already. I got to keep puffing on it. I loaded it through the years. Not that I go shoot them all the time. I load them and I put them away, and then load another batch, put them away, load them. And I said, why do I have so many? Because I don't go shoot. I am going to go to the range, but I don't think I'm going to take it hunting. What I've done lately is that I do something like what the golfers do, right? Golfers have a bag with several clubs, and depending on the terrain, depending on the distance, you know, I don't know all the names of the clubs. They got the number 3 and the number 5 and the putter and everything. So what I do is I take 2 guns. I'll take a medium range or a short range, a bush gun like the lever, and then I take a long range like the 270 or the 7 mag, depending on where I'm going to hunt, because the terrain changes. So if you take a bush gun, and then when you get to where you're going, turns out that there's a lot of brush and stuff, you don't want to go in there with a big long 24-inch or 22-inch barrel. You want to go in with something that's shorter, like my lever or my Ruger. And so I take 2. And lately I've been taking the 7 mag because they're so metals that they, you know, half a mile. Okay, I'm gonna hunt a spot. You pull out the long gun, and that's when you go. That's what you go with, and you just hunker down somewhere and wait for the afternoon to see if anything moves out, to go find water or something, and that's how I do it. I'm not saying that's how you should do it, but that's what I do, because like I said, the terrain changes, and you have to there's the bullet. You know what? I think I'm going to patent this little gizmo, because, and the reason that this is used is mostly is because if you made a mistake or the casing is bad, you notice it's smashed on one side or something, or maybe it didn't fire because the primer didn't spark, and then you bring it home and you take it and you pull it, right? But for something what I'm doing, which is the dismantling the ammo and doing all this removing the ammo and the powder and everything, that little rubber tip, it's ideal to protect the bullet. You don't want to smash bullet, right? It's not going to work right. There you go. Uh-oh. Holy moly. There's no powder on this one. Oh. Oh. That's a new one. Can you imagine? You're going hunting, you load the gun, and you go click. Oh, man, I must have, you know, sometimes that happens. I mean, this is the second time, because I went to the range one time, pulled the trigger, and the gun didn't fire. And I sort of had a, what do they call it, a stovepipe? If there's a delay fire, so you have to wait a minute. That happened to me once at the range with the 7 mag. And when I took it home, I said, "Why didn't fire?" I mean, I look at the primer. The primer was dented and everything. The primer did go off, but there was no powder in the bullet, because you have to pay attention when you're doing this. If you notice, I have no radio, no TV on. But sometimes my lady comes over and says, "Oh, here, lunch," and brings me a hot dog or something. And I'll take a break, and that's probably what happened. It slipped my mind. But that's, man, I'm telling you. Okay, so when I, so 160, let me see, I got this scale here on the money. It's 160. Just to make sure that I didn't get these powders confused, because you don't want to do that, I took out the 4350 jug and put a little bit of powder on the cap, compared it with this one. This one has long little cigars. The other one has shorter. So that's one way of telling. I used to load a lot with the 4064, but then I found the 7828, and I liked it. I think it's a better load for the 7 mag, and I started using that. But being that these bullets have been loaded for a long time, it's coming along. This is a very slow Sunday afternoon process, And I was cleaning the brass to make it a little more presentable, but I don't think the guy cares. Brass is brass. Whoever buys the brass is going to process it anyways. They're going to clean it and they're going to do everything. So, and I loaded these for elk. There's a spot I know in Utah, and for big deer, man, there's deer that are beautiful, big deer. So I loaded these, the 160s. I loaded them for a Utah hunt. That I know a spot that the deer are big and it's wide open. You can see them. You can sit across the hill and use your spotting scope or your binoculars, and you can spot the deers in the afternoon. They come out to graze, and they come out and then they lay down for the afternoon. And I loaded these, and I bought that rifle for the purpose of hunting there, and I never went back, because every time I call to get a tag, they would ask me where I was calling from, and when I say I'm from LA, or from California, they don't care if you're from San Bernardino, or they hear you from California, they say, "No, we don't have any more tags." And I said, "Well, it took you 3 seconds. I mean, did you look at the computer?" And what it is that people from Utah, they were complaining there was a lot of California license plates. They see all these vehicles, cars and trucks, and they were saying that they weren't getting any deer because we were taking it. Kind of complaint. So, being that they're from there, the fishing game said, "Well, we're gonna sell to the people from Utah. If we have any leftovers, we'll sell it to out of towners." But the hunters from Utah, they didn't want nobody from out of state claiming that we were taking their deer. And being that I tried like 4 times every year to get a tag, and they kept saying, "No, we don't have any tags," I noticed that I wasn't going to get a tag, and I never tried again. 4 times is enough. And I don't think it's fair, because you make the expense, you make the drive, you buy the gun like I did to do that type of hunting, because it's perfect for the 7 mag. Perfect, wide open, long distance shot, and you can actually see the deer. You can see the hunters too, way up in the distance. Everybody dressed in blaze orange, And I never got a chance to use my 7 Mag because that was the place that I purchased it for. It's not a short range terrain. The shots, you know, you're looking at from 300 to 600 yards, easy. But what I liked about the place is that the deer, you can see the deer, so you know you got deer in front of you. All you have to do is do the work. You know, go in and hike up the mountain. Same thing in Wyoming. You can see the deer. Over here, it's a different deal. Over here, it's more forested. Over here, it's better with a short barrel gun, because you don't want to be hauling a huge long gun. You need a mountain gun, something light. You know, who came up with one that was pretty good? Savage. Savage had a really good rifle, very light, but it had a problem that I noticed. Oh, this thing went off again. That the back where the wood wraps around the back of the gun and you got the barrel, there was a big gap back here, and I said, "What? Why is it a big gap?" Now, do I need to buy another gun? Well, not really. I'll take the 7 Mag and shoot it. But keeping it long term, I'm not too sure. All right, guys, this is gonna be another long process. I gotta put these on the tumbler. Okay, so that's the last one for now because my back is already hurting. And look at that. That's a lot of powder. So now let's start the priming. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put them in the tumbler with the primer on because I cleaned the batch and I'm using rice and I was getting rice stuck in the little holes, so I gotta get this little screwdriver and start poking in there, trying to get this thing out. So I'm gonna put them in together, and I'm gonna go and finish my cigar and drink a espresso coffee. My back is killing me. I'm sitting here. This is not the most comfortable chair. That's why we took it out of the office. So no go. So no good. Man, I need another chair. Whew. It's so uncomfortable. I can only sit there for an hour. It's an hour and a half max. Jesus, what time did I start? Oh, I started about 11, so I've been there for 2 hours. So this cigar, the Macanudo Cru Royale, is not impressing me too much. Yeah. Even though it's not biting a lot, but it is biting. The leaves are falling apart at the end here. It doesn't compare to a Bolivar. I'm gonna see if I can buy a Winston Churchill. I haven't had those for a long time. I still got another batch of Macanudos, red label. I don't know what that's gonna taste like, but this one here, you know, I can just stop right now and it's not gonna, I'm not gonna miss it. All right, guys, I'm gonna relax here for a while. Later.